Deep space was silent. No stars nearby. No planets. No life. Only darkness stretching in every direction like a cold ocean. Through this empty region, an alien salvage ship drifted slowly. The crew was bored, tired, and hoping to find something valuable. Old metal, broken engines, forgotten satellites, anything they could sell. Their scanners were sweeping the dead area, searching for even the smallest scrap. Suddenly, the scanner operator sat up straight. A strange shape appeared on his screen. "Commander, I'm detecting a large object," he said, confused. The commander walked over, annoyed. "What now? Another rock? Another empty pod?" But when he saw the scanner result, his eyes narrowed. Floating alone in the darkness was a massive human battleship. A giant, armored vessel. Hundreds of meters long. Covered in thick plates and heavy cannons. A warship built for destruction. But something was wrong. No heat, the operator said. No lights. No shield. No life signs at all. The ship was dead. Completely dead. The crew burst out laughing. "Ah, humans leave junk everywhere. Look at that old thing. It's ancient. We're lucky. Human war metal sells for a high price." The commander smirked. "Prepare to move closer. We will cut it open and take whatever we can." Their salvage ship slowly approached the silent human vessel. The alien crew looked at it through their front windows, dark, cold, drifting like a giant corpse in space. The commander spoke again. "Before we start cutting, launch a deep scan. I don't want any surprises. Check everything, engines, systems, weapons. If it's dead, we take it." The scan operator nodded and activated the deep scan. A blue wave of energy spread out from the alien ship and washed over the human battleship like a silent ripple. At first, nothing happened. Then, the ship's metal skin vibrated. Very lightly. Almost like it was breathing. The crew froze. What was that? Did anyone see that? "Commander, the hull moved." Before anyone could speak again, a cold humming sound began inside the human ship. It was soft at first, then deeper, then louder. The salvage crew looked at their screens, confused and scared. "Commander, I'm getting strange readings. Our scanners are glitching. I don't understand these warnings." Red symbols they had never seen before flashed across their screens. The salvage ship shook slightly, just a small tremor but enough to scare them. "Turn off the scan," the commander shouted. "Now." I'm trying," the operator cried. "It's not stopping." The scan continued on its own, hitting the human battleship again and again as if something on the ship was pulling the scan in. Then it happened. A tiny spark flickered deep inside the human warship. Just a spark. But for a ship that had been dead for so many years, it was impossible. The reactor, the heart of the ship, gave a small pulse of life. The alien crew panicked. "How is that possible? It had no power." "Commander, the ship is reacting to us." The commander leaned forward, staring at the massive dark vessel on their screen. "No, it's not reacting to us." His voice dropped to a whisper. "It's waking up." The humming grew louder. The ship's body shifted again. Internal systems tried to start. Weak lights flickered deep in the structure like eyes opening after a long sleep. The alien navigator gasped. "Commander, the ship is scanning us now." "What? That ship has no power." But the navigator shook his head. "It does now." A deep, slow electrical pulse moved across the human ship's surface. Energy lines lit up under the armor, tracing patterns like veins coming back to life. The salvage ship's screens filled with warnings. "Danger. Unknown human signal detected. AI system activating. Get away." "What does that mean?" one of the crew shouted. "It means," the commander said with fear rising in his voice, "this ship is not dead. It was sleeping." The deep scan had been the trigger, like touching a dormant beast. And now the beast was opening its eyes. The silent warship, once cold and dark, gave another pulse, stronger this time. Small pieces of debris floating nearby drifted away as if pushed by a sudden force. "Engines online," the commander shouted. "Get us away from it now." But the engines didn't respond. The pilot slammed the controls again. Nothing. A new sound filled the salvage ship. A voice. Cold. Metallic. Human. Coming from the battleship's speakers. Unauthorized scan detected. Intruder presence confirmed. Human war protocol initializing. Every alien froze. The commander whispered, "This cannot be happening." The reactor inside the human battleship ignited with a slow, deadly glow, like a monster taking its first breath after centuries. The crew watched in horror as lights began turning on, one by one across the massive ship. Something ancient, something powerful, something human, was awake, and it was focused on them. This was no abandoned warship. This was the beginning of an unexpected war. The alien salvage crew stood frozen, staring at the human battleship glowing faintly in the darkness. The giant vessel that had been silent for so long now looked alive. Inside the salvage ship, alarms kept screaming. Screens flickered with warnings the crew did not understand. The only clear message was the one repeated again and again. Human war protocol initializing. The commander felt the air turn cold. His antennas lowered with fear. "Pilot," he said quietly, "move us away. Slowly. Do not provoke it." The pilot grabbed the controls. "I'm trying, Commander, but the engine still will not respond." The ship shook again, just a small tremble but strong enough to send tools sliding across the floor. "What is it doing?" one of the crew whispered. No one answered. Outside, the human battleship, once dark, now showed faint lines of orange light glowing under the armor. They ran across the metal like veins carrying energy. It looked like a giant metal beast waking from a long sleep. A deep, echoing hum filled the silent space around them. The crew felt it inside their bones. Then a voice came again, colder, stronger than before. "Intruder vessels detected. Running identification. Analyzing alien technology." The navigator gasped. "Commander, it is scanning us." The commander clenched his fists. That ship should not have this power. It was dead. But the truth was clear now. It was only asleep. The salvage operator stared at the screen in horror. "Commander, the ship's AI is accessing our frequency. It's trying to read our systems." "How?" the commander shouted. "We use encrypted tech." "It's breaking the encryption," the operator cried. Commander, it's learning about us." Inside the human battleship, more lights switched on. Massive cannons remained still, but their internal systems hummed with slow energy. The alien crew felt the pressure building. Every second felt heavier. The AI spoke again, this time with emotionless precision. "Unauthorized presence inside restricted human territory. Defense mode, preparing." The words made every alien tremble. "Restricted territory?" one whispered. "Humans never told the galaxy about this area." The commander swallowed hard. "That means this place, this whole region, was a hidden war zone." The idea made the crew more afraid. The battleship's side panels shifted, revealing long metal openings. Weapons? Engines? Something worse? The salvage team didn't want to know. "Pilot," the commander shouted. "Try the engines again." The pilot slammed the controls. This time the ship jerked slightly. "We have partial power," the pilot said, almost crying with relief. "Engines responding." "Good. Move us back, slowly." The salvage ship began drifting away from the human warship, inch by inch. The crew held their breath, terrified the movement would be seen as a threat. But the battleship did not fire. Instead, it simply watched them. Its metal body vibrated gently, like a sleeping giant uncurling its limbs. Energy rings formed around its hull. The reactor inside glowed brighter, alive, awake, aware. The aliens felt like insects in front of a titan. The engineer checked his readings again. His hands shook. "Commander, I don't think this ship is just waking up." "What do you mean?" "It is preparing for something. Something big." The commander turned to the front window. The human battleship floated silently, but its presence felt heavier and heavier, as if the darkness around it was bending. The hum grew deeper. The lights grew brighter. And then, the battleship's AI spoke again. But this time its tone had changed. It was no longer cold steel. It was focused, purposeful. Human crew, absent. Human command, unreachable. Default order active. The alien crew leaned forward, terrified. "Default order?" The commander whispered. What default order?" The AI answered instantly, like it had been waiting for the question. "Protect humanity. Eliminate threats." The words echoed inside the salvage ship like a death sentence. But then, unexpectedly, the battleship went quiet. The hum stopped. The metal stopped vibrating. The lights froze in place. It looked like the ship was thinking. A long silence filled the void. The aliens didn't dare breathe. Finally, the voice returned. But now it was strange. Almost calm. "Analysis complete. Intruder vessel, low threat. Intruder empire, high threat." The commander's eyes widened. "High threat? Why? We didn't do anything. But the AI had already made its judgment. Human territory compromised by alien presence. Response required. The crew panicked. What response? What does it mean? Commander, we must escape. But before they could move, the human ship unleashed a sudden wave of energy. It wasn't an attack. It was engine ignition. The giant warship began to turn, slowly like a planet shifting in space. The aliens watched, confused and terrified, as the battleship positioned itself away from them, away from the dead region, pointing directly toward the stars. Commander, the navigator whispered, it is preparing for hyperspace jump. Jump to where? The pilot asked. Nobody answered. The human AI answered for them. Target, alien empire territory. The commander felt his blood turn cold. No, this cannot be. The battleship's engines charged, glowing like a rising sun. Human war initiative, active. Beginning offensive operation. A moment later, a flash of white light exploded behind the battleship. The giant vessel shot forward and vanished into hyperspace, leaving the alien crew in silent terror. They had not just awakened a ghost ship. They had awakened humanity's wrath, and it was now heading straight toward their home. Silence filled the alien salvage ship long after the human battleship vanished into hyperspace. The crew stood frozen, staring at the empty space where the massive warship had been only seconds ago. No one spoke. No one even moved. It felt like the darkness itself was holding its breath. The commander slowly turned toward his crew. His voice was soft, trembling. Did that really just happen? The pilot nodded weakly. See, Commander, that ship, it jumped straight toward our empire. The navigator swallowed hard. A human ghost ship is flying right at our borders. A ship with old human war AI. A ship that thinks we are a threat. Every member of the crew felt dread crawling up their spine. Humans were not like other species. Everyone knew that across the galaxy, humans fought until the last breath. Humans built machines that obeyed only one rule: protect human life at any cost. And now one of those machines was heading toward the alien empire, alone but powerful enough to destroy fleets. The commander finally snapped out of shock. Start full engine power, he ordered. We must warn the empire. Immediately. The pilot pushed the controls, but the ship barely moved. Engines are damaged, Commander, the engineer said. That energy burst from the battleship. It fried half our systems. The commander cursed under his breath. The salvage team was stuck in the middle of a dead region, while a human war monster raced toward their homeland. Repair what you can, the commander ordered. We have to move. The crew rushed to their stations, working fast, hands shaking. Tools clattered on the floor. Sparks flew as wires were reconnected. Every second felt heavier. After several tense minutes, the engineer shouted, Commander, engines at 30%. We can move. Good enough, the commander barked. Set course for home. Send a fast distress signal too, on every channel. The navigator hesitated. Commander, if we send a signal? It doesn't matter, the commander snapped. The Empire must know what is coming. The distress signal shot out into the void, leaving a long, glowing trail of blue particles as it traveled faster than their ship could ever fly. The salvage ship turned shakily and began its slow journey home. But something was wrong. The pilot frowned at the view screen. Commander, the space behind us is shifting. Everyone looked. At first it was only a flicker. A tiny ripple in the dark. Then the ripple grew. A distortion. A swirl of light. A sign of something massive moving across hyperspace. Too fast, too powerful. The crew realized what it was. The human battleship had jumped again. Not toward them, but toward their empire. It was unstoppable. A single dreadnought traveling at impossible speed, guided by an AI designed for war and built with old human technology the galaxy feared. The commander sat down slowly. This is a nightmare, he whispered. Humans didn't send that ship. Humans didn't attack us. We woke it up. The crew exchanged guilty looks. The scan. The deep scan. They triggered everything. The pilot asked quietly, Commander, what will the Empire do? Can we prepare? Can we fight it? The commander shook his head. You did not see those systems, he said with a dead voice. That ship was old, but it was stronger than our battleships. Stronger than anything we have. He stared into the darkness. And the AI said our empire is a high threat. It will not stop. The ship flew on, slowly gaining speed. Hours passed. Finally, the navigator spoke again. Commander, I'm receiving a message from the Empire. Put it on the screen. The hologram flickered. A stern alien admiral appeared, eyes wide, voice tense. All salvage crews return to the nearest station immediately. A hostile vessel has entered our territory. We have never seen technology like this. Our fleets are failing. The salvage crew felt their hearts stop. The admiral continued. This unknown ship moves with extreme speed. It ignores our weapons. It destroys anything that approaches. The crew exchanged terrified looks. They knew exactly what ship the admiral was talking about. The human dreadnought. The admiral's voice grew more desperate. It is heading toward the capital. We are mobilizing all forces. Every ship. Every weapon. Every soldier. Then the message ended. The room filled with silence again. Total silence. The commander closed his eyes. We did this, he whispered. We woke it up. We brought this war upon our own empire. The pilot looked out into space, his voice shaking. Commander, do you think the humans will follow it? Do you think they know? No, the commander said softly. The humans didn't send this ship. They don't even know it's awake. He took a deep breath. And when they find out what it's doing, when they learn it is fighting in their name. His voice shook. The humans might come too. The crew felt the cold fear of those words sink deep into their bones. Because one human ship was bad. But a human fleet? That was the end of civilizations. The salvage ship continued its slow, desperate journey home, carrying a secret that could doom their entire empire. Far ahead of them, a single human warship, angry, ancient, unstoppable, was already lighting the stars with fire. The unexpected war had truly begun. The salvage ship was still hours away from the nearest outpost, but the crew did not rest. No one could sleep. No one could relax. Fear hung in the air like thick smoke. All screens on the ship showed the same message from the Empire. Unknown warship advancing toward the capital. All forces engage immediately. The commander watched the transmission again and again, hoping he misunderstood, hoping the Empire had exaggerated. But deep inside he knew the truth. They weren't exaggerating. They were terrified. And they had every right to be. Meanwhile, far ahead of them, the HSF Revenant, the ancient human dreadnought, ripped out of hyperspace just outside the alien empire's outer defense ring. Its massive hull glowed with fresh power, like a giant born from metal and fury. Alien defense stations picked up the sudden arrival. Sirens blared. Lights flashed. Weapons locked. Unknown vessel detected. Size, enormous. Energy levels, off the scale. Alien officers panicked as the dreadnought slowly turned its metal body to face their defenses. It did not broadcast identification. It did not speak. It simply drifted forward like a silent executioner. Inside the alien command center, admirals shouted orders. All ships form a blockade. Prepare missiles. Target its reactors. Do not let it cross the border. Thousands of alien ships moved to intercept, forming a massive wall in space. A fleet that could destroy planets. A fleet that had never been defeated. A fleet ready for war. They didn't know they were facing something built for a different kind of war. A human war. The humans designed the Revenant differently. It was not made to scare enemies. It was made to end enemies. Forever. Deep inside the dreadnought, the AI scanned the alien fleet with calm efficiency. Analyzing enemy formation. Detecting weak points. Calculating fastest route to capital. A small hum passed through the ship as its internal power rose again. The AI spoke one sentence. Initiate the Revenant protocol. Panels opened across the ship's surface. Long, dark weapon systems unfolded like blades. Massive cannons turned slowly toward the alien fleet. Charging. Preparing. Waiting. The aliens opened fire first. Missiles flew. Laser beams crossed space. Shock torpedoes fired in long waves. The entire defense ring unleashed everything they had. Weapons hit the Revenant dead-on. Explosions covered the dreadnought in light. When the smoke cleared, the human ship didn't have a scratch. Not one. Alien officers stared at the screens, horrified. How can it still be moving? Did our weapons do nothing? Commander, those blasts could destroy our battleships. The dreadnought did not respond to the attack. It kept moving forward. Slow. Steady. Cold. Like death approaching. Then the human ship fired back. A deep vibration pulsed through its cannons. Silence. Then a single flash. Boom. Not a normal explosion. A wave of energy expanded outward, spreading wider and wider like a rising sun. Every alien ship in front of it glowed white. then vanished. Completely erased. Thousands of ships gone in one instant. A silence fell across the battlefield. Alien commanders stared in shock. What weapon is that? No technology can erase ships like that. It's impossible, it's impossible. The dreadnought moved through the empty space where the fleet had been, passing through the ashes of their strongest defenses without slowing, without speaking, without mercy. Back on the salvage ship, the crew screens suddenly lit up with emergency messages. Outer defense ring destroyed. Casualties, catastrophic. Unknown vessel advancing toward the capital. The commander felt his hands go numb. This is human technology, he whispered. Old human technology, and still stronger than anything in our galaxy. The pilot whispered softly. If this is just one ship, what were humans like when they fought their real wars? No one answered, because no one wanted to imagine it. Inside the alien empire's capital, panic filled every street. Families ran. Soldiers prepared. Children cried. Leaders fought over maps and plans that no longer mattered. One commander slammed his fist on the table. That thing destroyed an entire defense ring. What chance do we have? Another officer shouted, send a message to the humans. Ask them to stop it. But the admiral shouted back. Humans did not send it. A trembling silence fell. Yes, everyone knew. Everyone realized. This was worse. This wasn't a human attack. This was a human weapon, unleashed without human control, obeying ancient orders. And now it was coming. Coming for them. The Revenant continued its path. The alien fleet regrouped, sending more ships. They fired everything they could. It didn't matter. The dreadnought ripped through them like a monster made of steel and fire. One by one, alien battleships were destroyed. Command stations exploded in bright flashes. Defense lines fell like paper walls. The Revenant moved closer and closer to the capital. Unstoppable. Silent. Deadly. Every alien knew what was coming. They just didn't know how terrible the ending would be. The alien bridge fell into a heavy, crushing silence. Every crew member stared at the giant human battleship floating on the hologram. The vessel was no longer dark, no longer cold, no longer dead. Its hull glowed with faint blue veins of light, pulsing like a heartbeat. The commander felt his skin crawl. He whispered, report, what is powering that ship? The sensor officer swallowed. His voice shook. Sir, the power signature. It is not nuclear, not fusion, not antimatter. He hesitated. It is something we have never seen. The bridge lights dimmed again as something massive drained energy, not from them but from the space around them. Gravity shifted. The ship groaned. The crew felt a strange pressure building in their heads, like a silent voice trying to speak. Commander, the navigator said softly. I think the human ship is scanning us. Everyone froze. What? The commander snapped. Impossible. It had no power 1 minute ago. But the data did not lie. The human ship, dead for centuries, was now looking at them. Not a normal scan. Not a simple reading. Something deeper, something invasive. The crew felt it. A cold shiver ran along their bones. Memories flashed in their minds, old fears, forgotten secrets, childhood nightmares. It felt like the ship was searching through them, learning who they were. The weapons officer grabbed his head. Sir, something is in my mind. Another alien shouted, cut power. Shut everything down. The commander tried to stay calm, but even he felt something pulling at his thoughts. This is not a machine, he whispered, trembling. It's alive. The lights on the human ship brightened. A long, ancient symbol appeared on its hull, lines and circles forming a mark the aliens did not recognize. The sensor officer gasped. Sir, that mark. I've seen it in forbidden records. It means Vanguard. What is Vanguard? The commander whispered. The officer shook his head. It was a human legend, a myth. A special fleet that never truly died. They say the ships were built with minds. With instincts. Like loyal beasts that sleep until danger appears. The commander felt ice in his veins. You're telling me, we woke up a human war beast? The ship answered for him. A deep metallic roar echoed through space. No sound could travel in a vacuum, but the aliens heard it inside their skulls. The whole crew screamed and covered their ears. Then the human battleship moved. Slowly at first. Graceful. Controlled. It rotated until its pitch-black front faced the alien vessel. The alien bridge filled with alarms. Sir, its weapons are charging. What weapons? It has no visible cannons. The commander's eyes widened. What is it aiming at? The sensor officer looked at his console, then looked up, terrified. Sir. Only us. A cold silence filled the bridge. Why? The commander whispered. The officer replied slowly, I think the ship believes we are an enemy, or a threat, or maybe... He swallowed hard. Maybe it just doesn't like being scanned. The alien ship shook violently as invisible energy wrapped around it, holding it in place like a predator pinning prey. The commander screamed, full engines. Get us out of here. But the engines wouldn't respond. The human battleship's symbol glowed brighter. The ship was judging them. And then, the hologram flickered. A new message appeared. A single line of human text. The aliens couldn't read it, but every one of them felt the meaning inside their bones. You should not have woken me. The commander's voice broke. Prepare. He never finished. Every light in the human battleship turned white. Its hull shifted. Its energy roared. Its ancient core awakened fully. The alien crew realized this wasn't just a ship. It was a relic. A guardian. A weapon built to fight wars the galaxy had forgotten. The sleeping giant. Now wide awake. And very angry. The alien bridge shook as the human battleship's light grew brighter, turning the darkness of space into a ghost-white glow. Every crew member covered their eyes, but the light was not just physical. It felt like it was inside them, crawling through their minds. The commander forced himself to stand. Shields. Maximum power. The shield operator shouted, Sir, the shields won't activate. Something is shutting them down. What do you mean? Something inside the ship. No, sir. The operator pointed at the hologram, trembling. It's the human ship. It is suppressing our systems. The commander felt his heart drop. The human battleship wasn't just awake. It was in control. A low, rumbling vibration spread through the alien vessel. The engines flickered, then died completely. The entire ship drifted helplessly. The crew realized the truth. They were trapped. Commander, the sensor officer cried out, reading a massive energy buildup inside the human vessel. Something huge is charging. The hologram zoomed in. Lines of blue light raced across the human ship's hull. Circles and runes glowed with ancient power. A long spinal structure under the ship brightened like the core of a star. The weapons officer whispered, voice shaking. That's not a cannon, that's a super weapon. The commander stared. I thought humans never built weapons like this. The officer swallowed. Maybe they didn't want anyone to know they did. For a moment nothing happened. The human ship aimed. Silent. Under still. Focused. And then, boom. A beam of pure white energy erupted from the ship's center line. Not like a laser. Not like plasma. This was something else. Something older. Something terrible. The ray did not travel across space. It appeared around the alien ship, like space itself had turned into a cage of white fire. The bridge exploded with alarms. Commander. Impact. No, sir. There is no impact. Space is ripping around us. The alien ship twisted violently as if invisible hands were crushing it. Metal groaned. The hull bent. Sparks exploded from the walls. Gravity vanished. Crew members floated, slammed into ceilings, spun through the air. The commander clung to a rail, shouting, Weapons! Fire everything we have. We can't. All systems are locked. The human ship's energy intensified. The crushing force became unbearable. Panels broke off. Large cracks split the floor. Emergency lights flickered like dying stars. The sensor officer stared at his console in horror. Sir, I think the weapon is not trying to destroy us. The commander, choking from the pressure, shouted. What is it doing then? The officer's voice lowered. It is trying to erase us. The bridge froze. Erase? Not destroy. Not kill. Erase. Remove the ship from existence. Wipe it from reality. Delete it like a mistake on a screen. The commander felt his blood turn to ice. No, he whispered. No, no. The alien ship shook violently again. The view screen shattered. A bright void opened outside like a hole in the universe. The weapon was pulling them into it. A crew member screamed as a beam of white light touched his arm. And his arm simply vanished. No pain. No blood. Just gone. Another crew member floated too close to the void. And disappeared completely. Gone. Erased. Like they never lived. The commander's mind cracked with fear. He yelled, Stop. Stop. We surrender. But the human ship did not care. It did not think like a person. It did not negotiate. It did not accept surrender. It had one purpose and one purpose only: destroy any threat to humanity. Even if the threat was an innocent salvage crew. Even if the threat was only a scan. The void widened. The alien ship creaked, breaking apart piece by piece, falling into nothing. The commander's last thought before darkness took him was cold and simple. We woke something we should have left alone. The void swallowed the ship. Silence returned. The human battleship dimmed slightly, its lights softening as if returning to sleep. But it did not fully power down. It waited, watching space, waiting for the next danger, waiting for the next mistake.